Um, Hi guys, I'm just gonna kind of update on what's been going on because I realised that I've not been on in about 2 weeks or so. So basically today was my day off and it really wasn't a good day. Like, I just felt really crap about myself and I just didn't see a point in doing anything. I went to go get a blood test and they had to do it 3 times, so I felt really anxious about it. And they were telling me that I was rubbish because my veins weren't there, and I was like, okay. It's not really my fault, and I don't know, I just felt really bad. And then I went to LGBT and they were talking about mental health and they talked about anxiety, and I just walked out and I was like, no. It's I don't want to talk about it because, to be honest, I'm not ready to talk about it in front of people, so that's why I find it easier to talk about it on camera, and I find it easier to just talk about it like that. And I don't know, hearing people talk about it and actually having to engage in it is really difficult for me right now, because I just find it really hard to even contemplate talking about it and contemplate even figuring out what's going on in my head. And I don't know, it gets so overwhelming sometimes. And I think I should kind of explain what's gone on in the past, because I think that's quite important for anyone that's out there that's sort of dealing with the same issues, because they might have gone through similar things, and I think that's going to be what's going on today. So basically, I think the most important one and probably the hardest memory that I have to talk about is one when I was in school. Basically, in school, I was a very awkward child. In at the start of high school, I got really nervous, and I didn't really speak to anyone in my form, or I didn't really talk to anyone outside my circle. And in my circle there was 4 of us, and I had 3 really close friends, but one of them was my best friend, my best friend. And basically, I don't even know if you can call it a falling out. Basically, I was with this person and we were on the phone to one of my close friends in that circle, and she accused me of saying that I didn't want her there, and I was like, I didn't say that. So I got really defensive and was like, whoa, I didn't say that, and I got really upset because she just wasn't having any of it. And she just completely fell out with me. So I went and talked to my best friend, and I basically told her what happened, and she was like, yeah, I know, so and so has just told me. And she was like, I don't want to get involved. So I was like, no, I'm not asking you to. I'm just saying that I just want you to know, so that there's no hard feelings and stuff. And then the next day, all 3 of them just completely ignored me, and they just were sort of whispering, and every time I'd come in the room they'd go silent, and I literally got really paranoid and thought they were staring at me when they weren't, or if they were staring at me I got incredibly closed and reserved. And that went on for quite a few months, just being ignored, and I literally had no friends, and I had no one to turn to. I was completely alone. And from going to having these friends that are so close, and then to basically having no one around that you can talk to, and then I got incredibly paranoid and self-conscious, and I just felt like it was my fault that I'd done something to make them act like that. to make them ignore me. And I just thought, well, it's clearly my fault. I've clearly done something wrong. And I constantly drilled that into my own head. And my own thoughts just was like, it's your fault. You've done it. Like, this is your fault. They don't even like you. Just constantly going around in my head saying, well, they wouldn't do it if they actually liked me. And I got to a really, really low place where I just didn't want to live anymore. And it's been really difficult to talk about. For ages, and I haven't spoken to anyone in depth about it because it made me feel horrible, and I don't think I've ever felt that bad in my entire life. And I got so close to doing something, and I don't even know what stopped me. I really don't. And basically, I've never been able to speak about it because it was that painful. I got that close to actually doing something that I'd come to regret. But obviously, I didn't think I'd regret it at the time. I thought that was my only option because I didn't have anyone to turn to, and the people that I wanted to turn to were the people that were doing it to me. And that's scarred me. And I think that's going to scar me for the rest of my life because it was so difficult, and I didn't ever want to feel that way, but I was made to feel that way by the people that I was closest to. So now I find it really hard with people in general because I get really, really anxious about how they perceive me and like whether they're going to leave like they did and treat me like they did. So I don't trust a lot of people, and I don't really talk to a lot of people about it. And it wasn't until the other day that I went round to my girlfriend's house and I just completely spilled everything to her about that in mass detail. And I started crying and saying how it was the worst experience of my life. And she just held me and told me that it was going to be okay and that she was so proud of me for not actually doing anything. And for me to hear that of someone when I didn't hear that off anyone for so long was such an amazing feeling, that someone actually gave a damn and someone actually was there. And I don't know, she's helped me so much that she doesn't even realise. So what I would advise to anyone that has gone through any sort of bullying ever, then I would advise get someone that you would kill for and save them. Just keep them, because you need people, and you need people around that are actually going to treat you like a decent human being, and you need to have that support. And if you don't get it, you have to demand it. You have to say that you need this support, because for someone to be left on their own, it's probably one of the worst feelings in your entire life, and I would never, ever want it to be put upon anyone else, because it's just horrible. And I'm so sorry for anyone that has been through trauma like that, because I'm not going to tell you that it'll go away, because you're still going to think about it. But I'm going to tell you that it will get easier, and you'll get better at talking about it, and eventually it won't affect you so much. And I think that's where I am right now. I'm on the journey to that road where I'm starting to get better, but I'm not yet. I've not even started. So that's what like really annoys me. But talking about this with you guys really sort of helps. So I think that any way that helps you express yourself, do it. If it's keeping you alive, then I'd say just do it, because that's the most important thing. Actually keeping yourself alive and keeping yourself in a point where even when it gets really bad, you have another option other than to not be here anymore. Because no one wants to feel like that. And I'm saying this now to everyone, anyone and everyone who watches this, then if you have gone through this, if you are going through anything, whether that be sexuality, your mental health, bullying, anything, you can you can message me about it, or you can ask me to talk about topics regarding that, and I will do it. I've got my Tumblr link on some of them and my Twitter link, so people can direct message me, ask me questions on Tumblr, anything, and I will try and help you as much as I can and as best as I can to my ability. So yeah, that's it, I guess. Sorry that this video is kind of longer, but it had to be said and it had to be done. So thank you for watching, and tune in soon for some more videos. And yeah, I hope that it's helped, and I don't know.